Hey everybody, so today I'm going to be talking about how to support a loved one that needs dentures, how to support them emotionally, as well as some practical tips on how you can kind of help them in the whole aftercare process once the procedure's been done. This video is sponsored by Vivadent. I mention them all the time on my channel. I'm a huge fan of their company. They're a dental manufacturing company that makes products like teeth and equipment, things that dental professionals use to treat patients. So if you want to learn more about Vivadent, check out the link in the description box below. It's www.morethanAdenture.com. Okay, so as I've mentioned many times, when I told my husband that I needed dentures, that I thought that I needed dentures, this is like before I even went to the dentist to confirm what I already knew. It took a lot of courage for me to do that. It was something that, I had very much shied away from with everybody in my life. I never wanted to talk about my teeth at all, let alone the fact that, I think that I need dentures. That was super hard for me to do, very embarrassing. It was a humbling moment in my life. And here I had built up all the courage to go to him and say, you know what? I need to get dentures. And his reaction was not one that I expected. He was like, no, you don't, because he just wasn't educated. He didn't understand. He didn't know what I knew. He definitely didn't see my teeth. Like, I always hid my teeth from him, so he never fully understood how bad the situation was. So it's not that he was being unsupportive. It's just that that to him, with his limited information, it was like me taking a normal sized problem and escalating it to something extreme. But then after I went to the dentist and the dentist confirmed that, he was like, okay, well, all right, so we're just gonna do this. And he was very supportive. But I'm saying this because if you have been told that your partner or your friend, your parent, that they need dentures and you don't have any knowledge on dentures outside of like denture paste commercials and advertisements for dentures, then it's probably going to shock you initially. You probably have this like super stereotypical image of what a denture wearer is and what being a denture wearer is like in your head. So the first thing that you're gonna wanna do is acknowledge the fact that you don't have all the facts, you don't have all the information. You're probably gonna wanna educate yourself at least a little bit, like brush up on it. One thing that I encourage you to do is maybe join a denture community so that you can see, like Facebook is huge. There's tons of denture communities on Facebook. You can actually see and interact with denture wearers to know that whatever it was you were thinking a denture wearer is probably inaccurate. And you'll see a variety of people from all walks of life. It's a medical condition. For a variety of reasons, somebody might end up having to lose their teeth. And the way that you treat that is you replace the teeth. And that's either with, removable dentures or something that's more permanent, something that's fixed. Either way, it's a medical condition that needs to be treated. So educate yourself and try to get, at least somewhat familiar with the denture community. That's a very good starting point. Next, you're gonna wanna validate their experience. And that's extremely important no matter what your relationship is to them, but especially so if it's a partner or, if you're married to them. Because a lot of times we feel so connected to who we're with that their experience becomes our experience, and we take on the emotional load that comes with it. And like, you get it. If you're married, you get it. But you need to understand that this is their experience. This is something that they're having to go through in their own personal life. And having your support, encouragement, and validation is super important. For one, you definitely don't want to shame them. Like, don't shame them. Don't go back into the memory vault of all the things that they might have done that led them to this point. Whether they were skipping out on trips to the dentist, or they weren't brushing properly, or whatever else you can conjure up. It's not productive at this point. They're here, this is where they're at, and they need to move forward. So definitely don't shame them for what they're going through. You're also gonna wanna understand their emotions, and it really varies wildly. Like, I think that a lot of us denture wearers had some of the same common emotions in the beginning. Fear of not knowing what to expect. Like, is this procedure going to hurt? Am I going to look like myself again? Am I going to be able to function well? Can I eat like a normal diet with dentures? Like there's all of these thoughts that kind of like induce anxiety. But then there's the mourning stage. Regardless of how bad it is with your natural teeth, these are teeth that you've had like the majority of your life, and now you're having to let them go. And there comes a sense of grief with that, a sense of loss. And that's valid. That's a valid feeling to experience. So dismissing something like that by telling them, oh, well, don't even focus on that. Focus on how much better life is going to be. Like, I agree there's a healthy middle ground. You do want to try your best to focus on the positive outcome and how things can improve. But you also don't want to pretend that you don't feel the way that you feel, because then with that comes this cognitive dissonance that can sometimes paralyze people into inaction. Like they're not able to move forward because they're like, I feel this feeling, but I shouldn't, but I do. Whatever emotions they're going through, whether it's fear, anxiety, sadness, maybe even anger, it's all part of the process, and all of those feelings are normal. So it wouldn't be uncommon for them to maybe, on one hand say, I'm excited, I can't wait to be out of pain, especially if they're dealing with things like infections and abscesses right now, or if they haven't smiled in years, they might be looking forward to what they're going to look like, and if they're anything like me, and how I'm gonna look wearing lipstick again, because that was a big one for me. Like I used to avoid that, and that was something I was super excited to experience. But then on the next note, they're terrified and they're having these anxious thoughts of, what if I look terrible? What if I don't look like myself? What if I look crazy? Different fears pop into their head. It's totally normal to have this like teeter-totter effect of, highs and lows. Just listen to them. Listen to them and be there for them, and let them know this experience that they're having is valid and it's normal, but that you're going to support them through it. This might be a good time for you to show vulnerability. Like maybe there's something that you experienced in the past where you can go back to a moment of embarrassment, shame, the heavy feeling that comes with certain things that we experience in life. Sometimes it just helps to ground ourselves in somebody else's reality to let us know that, this isn't something that just happens to us. Even if the circumstances are different and you don't need dentures, maybe there's something else that you experience that holds as much emotional weight as what they're going through. I mean, it just helps if you know them and kind of get a sense for what they need. Like my husband and I, we are completely different people, and the things that I need to make me feel valid and supported are entirely different from what he needs. I like words of encouragement. I like hearing those positive affirmations from other people. Stuff like that makes me feel heard and seen and validated and supported. But with him, he's not a words person. I know that if I go in there in his office and go through and organize everything and get it all, nice and clean and fresh for him, like I do an act of service for him, those are things that makes him feel supported. But when in doubt, just ask. I think that a good starting point for that is just to show interest in it. If they say that they don't want to talk about it, of course, don't push, because not everybody's going to be comfortable talking about it. But if they are, if they've confided in you and they're opening up to you, let them know that you're interested in what they're going through by, educating yourself. Like, hey, I read this article and here's some tips that I found in there that might be useful for you after the procedure. Buy them a denture product. You can easily put together a little denture care package for them. Buy them the denture bath that they're going to need, and the toothbrush and denture adhesive, things like that, to let them know like, hey, I took time to go and get these products for you because I'm here for you. Get them self-care products, like maybe a gift certificate to a nail salon so that they can get a pedicure afterwards, like something to make them feel good, a warm fuzzy bathrobe, just anything that you can do to show them like, I understand that what you're going through is difficult and this is a tough time in your life, but I want you to know I'm here for you and you're not going through it alone. Next, you're gonna have to come to terms with your own feelings, and this is more geared towards people who are in relationships, like marriage and stuff. You might be worried about how it's going to affect your life, how it's going to affect intimacy, how it's going to affect attraction. And that's going to vary. Everybody's different. Everybody's relationship is different. But what I can tell you is that when your partner is their best self, your relationship is going to thrive. My relationship with my husband improved exponentially after I got my dentures, because I got my confidence back. I wasn't in pain all the time. And so I could laugh openly with him without feeling like I have to hang my head down in shame and hide my smile and avoid going out places with him, avoid going on vacations, pretending to be depressed because I'm actually in pain and I don't want to tell him why I'm in pain. So regardless of what your dynamic is with your partner, recognize that when they're happy and they're healthy and they're confident, that's what's going to affect you the most. And you can be the one to support them and help them achieve that. And lastly, it's going to be super helpful to them if they've got somebody helping them after the procedure, because, they're going to be in some level of discomfort. And again, that's very much individual. I've seen people who the next day went back to work. Me, the first week was pretty rough, especially the first 3 days. The day I came home, I was knocked out. I don't remember anything. And so my husband was there helping me change out my gauze, to get gauze in there from the extraction sites to suck up the blood. He was wiping the drool from my face, bringing me my pain medication, bringing me drinks, bringing me my ice pack to put on my face to keep the swelling down. You're not gonna want to let them fend for themselves. So make sure that you're available to them after the procedure's done. Talk to the dentist. Ask them to give you the aftercare instructions. Take a picture of it, save it in your phone, don't lose it, because they may be a little bit out of it. Try to handle the meals for them. There's tons of resources online that go over the different types of meals that a person who just had full mouth extractions can handle within the first 24 hours, 48 hours, week, 2 weeks. And finally, some people just need time to process. And so if they're the type of person that needs to retreat and be alone for a little bit to deal with, everything that they're going through or what they've just gone through, don't take it personally. It's not that they're trying to push you away. It's a lot to deal with mentally. And sometimes we just need to be in our own head, in our own space to kind of untangle it all. Give them their space and let them know that you're there for them if they need you. Just understand that as wild as this all seems to somebody who might not know a lot about dentures, there's nothing abnormal about this. And them being a denture wearer is really not going to affect you very much, but it will affect them. And having your support is going to be very beneficial to them through their healing process and their transition to a new normal. So let me know in the comment section below if you had a super supportive partner or friend or child. Who was it that helped you through your transition from extractions to dentures and the process of adapting? Like, who was that person and what did they do? What's some helpful things that they did that made you feel supported, that made you feel like this was not a journey you had to walk alone? Leave it below so that you can share some tips with people who are, just starting out on this. If you like this video, make sure you give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel so that you get all of this regular content that I put out here. I talk about dentures and implants and the emotional aspect, explanations of different procedures and types of dentures and stuff like that. So don't forget to subscribe. All of my social links are in the description box below, and I will see you guys again next time. Y'all take care.